Today, I'm going to show you guys around a space that up until a few weeks ago was actually my least favorite part of our entire house. Welcome to our home office. The reason that I was not a fan of this space before is it was really just the room that we never gave any love. You know what I'm talking about. It's that room where you throw all the crap that you don't know what to do with. And the result is it's always been this kind of cramped, dark space that Adam and I really didn't enjoy using. It certainly didn't foster any type of productivity or creative inspiration. And we really wanted a space in the house like that. So a few months back, I decided to give this space a freshen up. I needed to do it on a budget, so I really honed in on a few key furniture pieces that would give me the most bang for my buck. And most importantly, we rearranged the whole room. We reoriented the way the desk was. I'll show you more in a minute, but it's a perfect example of how just getting a little creative with the way a room is arranged can completely transform a space. Get cozy, come on in, I'll show you around, and I'll also share where I bought everything. A little backstory, we built our house almost 13 years ago, so we're kind of coming upon that time when we're ready to change some things up. We have a lot of experience now from living in this house for over a decade, and Adam and I have also done a lot of design projects since then. So we've really been taking our learnings and trying to apply them to this home kind of one step at a time. This office has definitely been one of the more challenging areas. One of the reasons is when we built the house, we installed these built-ins. And the reason was we wanted to have a lot of storage space, which is necessary in an office. However, looking back, I don't know that I would have done something quite so permanent because it does really restrict the different ways that we're able to arrange the room. Another thing that's challenging is the placement of the windows. Knowing that the centerpiece to the office is the desk and the chair, it's a little tricky to figure out where to place them. You don't want to have your back to the window when you're working. You kind of want to have clear line of sight, but then the built-ins, and it's always just been a little bit of a struggle to find the right arrangement for this room. The biggest change we made to this room was reorienting where the desk was placed. We've always had it at one far end of the room, and it was just not good for collaboration. Only one person could really use it at a time, and the sunlight was so harsh coming in through the window, we always had to keep the shade down to minimize the glare on the screen. So we decided to move the desk to the center of the room, and it changed everything. Now it feels more like a work table. It's just more collaborative. We can both gather around it and be on a call together, and the room itself just feels more open and expansive. I love when a room update costs $0. Okay, let's talk about these built-ins. They are definitely one of the more dominant elements of the room. Like I said, they have their challenges, but they also have some pros. The cabinets and the shelves are both made of white oak. The shelves are 3 inches thick, which if I were doing this project again today, I would probably go with a thinner 2-inch shelf. I gravitate now more towards that lighter look when it comes to built-in shelves, but when we built our house over a decade ago, that chunky 3-inch look was very in, and it's fine. It's an unstained white oak, so this is the natural color, but there is a lacquer over it to protect it from dings, and you can see they've stayed in really good condition for almost 13 years. So the pros to these built-ins are they give a lot of storage, and I also love that there's display space for showing coffee table books and cool sculptural items on the shelving. There's a lot of storage in the cabinets below. They're totally unorganized right now. They're full of shelves where we can keep files and electronics, samples for design projects that we're working on, and it just gives a more streamlined look than a piece of furniture would. The cons are just how permanent they are. There's not a lot of flexibility if you really wanted to change up the room without demoing them, which would be a huge and expensive project. This desk is actually a piece that we've had for about 10 years. It isn't even intended to be a desk. It's actually a repurposed dining table from Crate & Barrel, but we loved it because of the size. It's 5 feet long, which is a really good size to be able to have a nice open workspace, but also for more than one person to sit and have a meeting and be able to collaborate together. It's also made of teak, which is like my favorite material. I just love teak wood because it's super durable and it gets gray with age. You can also put it outside and let it get kind of beat up in a good way. I just love teak furniture. I always go for it. And this desk has really been a great investment that stood the test of time. Okay, y'all, I am quite obsessed with this chair. I feel like I'm always looking for something that's ergonomic and comfortable, but also feels more stylish than your average office chair. And this is it. It's from Lulu, Georgia. It's made of linen and leather, and it's just maybe my favorite piece in this whole room. I always like to have a lush plant in every room of the house. This is a rubber tree. I love her. And I got this new planter from West Elm. It's really heavy duty, and I like how it kind of blends with the walls and the floor and almost just kind of disappears. So the only tricky thing is it's extremely heavy, especially because it's completely filled with dirt and gravel. So watering is a little tricky. But what I do is about every 3 days or so, I water it just enough with my little watering can to absorb into the roots, but not so much that it goes all the way through and like floods the floor and leaves a stain. So far, so good. Right now, it seems to be working. She looks really healthy and lush, but I'll keep you posted. I get a lot of questions from you guys about window treatments because, let's face it, they can be super confusing. So our challenge in this room was that we love to have a lot of natural light and we wanted a clear view to the front yard so that we can see when people drive up. But if we're deep in computer work or on a Zoom call, we need some light filtering to minimize the glare on our computer screen. So we went with a two-part solution. First, we installed these sheer curtains that let in tons of light. One little design trick is to install the curtain rod a few inches higher and wider than the window frame itself. It makes the window look bigger and you can pull the drapery fully back to let in as much light as possible. Then we installed these solar shades. So if you work on a computer a lot like we do, you know how important it is to minimize glare, especially in the afternoon when the sunlight shines directly through the window. So we needed a way to block that light without making this room feel like a dark cave. These solar shades are made to allow light to filter into the room, but they block out the harsh light that creates the glare. I highly recommend them for any home office space. They've worked great in here. All of our window treatments are from Graber. So the final piece to the space was my favorite, which is styling out the bookshelves. I just love using decor items and books to really reinvent the look of bookshelves in every room. I tend to do it every season just to keep things really fresh. So the key with these shelves is that we wanted to keep them feeling really minimal. In a workspace, for me, I like a space to feel really clean. I don't want a lot of clutter. I need my mind to be clear. So the temptation is to fill bookshelves with a lot of stuff. And this was really a practice in removing and editing it down to only a few things that would look decorative, but really have that streamlined, like very calm look that we wanted in the space. So on these shelves, I've really been using it to display a lot of like Casazuma pieces and samples that we're working on. This is our handcrafted dough bowl from Casazuma. I love it. You can fill it with citrus fruit or use it as kind of a catch-all for keys and stuff. I just like it empty. I love like the look of the reclaimed wood. This is our Las Flores vase. I just love how textural it is. And again, it's a piece that you can fill with flowers, but you can also just leave it empty. And it's really just kind of a work of art and a sculpture on its own. A few favorite coffee table books that Adam and I both love and that we just like to have here to flip through when we need like a fresh dose of inspiration. Thank you guys for coming along on our tour. I had so much fun showing you around. It's a simple space, but it really does prove that having a workspace that makes you feel creative and inspired can totally make a difference in your day-to-day life. I hope you enjoyed it too. If you did, drop a comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.